Our journey. Have you ever strolled through a scene in nature so beautiful that your senses are filled to overflowing? The whole body lavishly enjoys nature's nourishments. Enraptured in such bounty, a moment of transcendence occurs effortlessly, gently. It's this kind of experience that's reflected in our Enlightenment traditions. What is the purpose of spirituality? Isn't it to improve ourselves and benefit others? We each have difficulties and hang-ups that might not be so easily understood by the other. In spirituality, there is the common theme belief that nothing's too hard to deal with. So, where do we start on the path of personal transformation, the common-sense spiritual way? Is it realistic for us to think that we can process all negativism and experience tremendous personal recreation? Yes. We each have the ability to transform apparent curses into blessings, negatives to positives. Are there limits to this action of self-inquiring transformation? No. I've never heard of a limitation as to how much love we can discover within our own selves and how powerfully this love can affect us. Actually, the Masters of Life advise us that our potential is literally unlimited. Can we really accept the statement that we are the stuff of the stars and that divinity is living within us, asking to be a vessel to flow through us? The admonition to the child is you can be anything you want to. Do you and I still have this creative potential? Our negatives can become positives. It's just the disciplined progression of personal metamorphosis that can be a bit tricky. We are asked to get concentrated and on track right now. We don't always want to give up our nervousness, to let go and trust beyond what we can see. The funny thing is, enlightened consciousness remains in us no matter what our choice is. Unbounded love and power exist in us forever, and we're sovereign in our ability to perceive it. In each mind, every emotion and body, there is the pure energy that animates all life. It is this core thread of creation that emanates the impulse of life itself. One moment of this recognition is enough to heal a life completely. The sun and the rain touch the lives of every person, good or bad. In the same way, our common inner source is ever present, willing to touch our lives if we allow. How about right now? Right here? What blocks us? The petty fears and concerns and demands. Forgiving yourself and forgiving others is the greatest act of self-empowerment that can be actualized. We can choose, and in our choice, each time, we strengthen the connections of our habit nature to become more abundant with good energy. This good energy sends a ripple effect in us and through us, making our lives better. When we are in this field of grace, all of a sudden we have enough space and support to see our way clearly. A new dawn rises in our consciousness, and in a moment, all is well. This kind of experience reawakens our greatest dreams and belief in simple miracles, the kind that transform who we are and how we live. If we indulge, allow in chaotic panic, in any way, the pains of hell happen. When we let go and trust, the pleasures of heaven happen. Clearly intend which you're committed to manifesting in your life experience. Some may say, I'm just too busy for these things. My mind is too chaotic. I cannot quiet down. I have too many fears, too many things going on, and I must keep up. However, Each of us has the capacity to harmonize ourselves, whatever the situation. This results in getting more done, more efficiently. Psychologically speaking, there's over 6 trillion interactions going on in any given second. Each interaction is instantly known by the other elements of our body-mind. Our minds and bodies are admittedly more complex than any known computer. We organize in ways that transcend the capabilities of all known machinery. Remember the magnificence of your creation and be free. Your inherent capacities are all you need. You are born with the gift of life. So, have you got it in you? Of course you do. Smile. Smile throughout every cell of your body because you're the greatest creation on this planet. Look around you. Animals, insects, plants. You are the most evolved and the pinnacle of this world's creation, nature's finest achievement. Sensitive scientific instruments measure the fact that the body, with all its electrical and magnetic movements, sings and pulses with wonderful sounds and colors on subtle levels of perception. The entire majesty of creation can be observed within your own self. Have you perceived this? Or do your externally oriented eyes, ears, and psyche take all the attention away from the source of your life experience? Stop, drop, grow roots right here underneath where you are. Break grounded and grow an extensive root structure. Let this be the consecrated place of your realization. How do we make contact with the best within us? Catalyzing our awareness into spiritual consciousness, we use a technique or a series of techniques. Natural enlightenment suggests that your religion is made up of the beliefs, practices, visions, words, etc. that work for you as an individual. As we awaken, our presence undergoes a dramatic transformation. We appear brighter to people. The whole world appears brighter to us. Suddenly everyone's in a better mood. The masters of life have a living presence which emanates tremendous power. No longer be isolated without the help of others. There are so many mentor-type individuals that actually just want to help out of their abundance. It's up to us of where and how to connect. And we could all use a little help, couldn't we? I've found a very curious phenomenon in my life I'd like to share with you. Each time I actually accomplish the inner work of transformation and feeling better on the inside, opportunities seem to be created out of thin air. The invitation. The invitation is for you and I to recognize that life is present for us here in this moment. No waiting for some other moment. Now is the best time there is to accept the full measure of grace, protection, providence into and through us. As a miraculous touch is given by a loving hand, in the same way embrace pure spirit into your heart and know the truth of where the phrase "born again" came from. The opinions of others during this process must be carefully observed because we're all too often negatively affected by the demands and doubts that others possess to the pure process of super-living. If it's your own doubt, then dispel that illusion. If it's others' doubts, have mercy and continue on. You can have wrongs, but you must continue on. The quality of our circumstances, all these transitory experiences, come from the spiritual. We learn to focus on the feeling that we're maintaining, and in that we can see the creations we're making in our lives. The shades of silence are the true meaning of words. Get behind the screen. The appearances, the manifest. Come closer to the source. In this sensing mode, we find our way to the transformation that touches every aspect. Do you want to make great strides in your life, starting right now? Then let go. Let go of me, of you, of him, of her, of they, of this, of that. Just take a breather. Breathe freely. Learn who you are first through infusing your simple daily life with the newfound vigor of spirit. Being in good spirits happens with that my favorites list. The quotes and the people and the songs and the places and the downtime, the ways that you like, that resonate, the ways that empower you on the inside. Our focus must be in this unchangeable nature of our inner existence. Beyond time, space, and circumstance, we're invited to be established in ourselves. All traditions say that within is the great source. And it's only within that we can find the mysteries of life, to connect with our mentors and beliefs in gods, and the spirit and pure energy of the elements. Now, where will you be looking today? Not just our own self, but the inner self and truths of all people, animals, and nature, even matter. This unified field of energy is the field from which the matrix of all sorts of life dances within. Identify with this source, this field, and discover the greatest connections within it. And in that connectivity is power. What joy this power builds inside of us. The ecstatic source of life. Why is it that all enlightenment pathways talk about an incredible ecstasy that comes along with spiritual maturity? The texts and masters clearly share with us that intense love, joy, bliss, ecstasy is the power that changes lives and creates miracles. Yet this conversation is rejected by the status quo. Why? Science certainly confirms this truth. The more balanced and positive the emotion, the stronger our immune system response, the upgrading of our brain chemistry and hormones occurs. You and I herald much where we walk. Think of how many individuals are touched by your life every day. There is some kind of energy exchange going on right now between you and all mankind. What are you putting out? What kind of legacy are you leaving for the world? How will we accomplish being kind with each other? Miracles are realities, and they can only continue happening to us if we just take the time to stop and tune in. Is now an okay time to secure the healing of your life? Or would you rather wait for another time? The divine inoculation is received purely as a matter of choice. There is no preparation or practice necessary. Faithing means to believe and generate the spiritual energy necessary to accomplish the moment. One moment, just one moment of sincere practice begins the process of self-discovery. No longer do as the others and be attached to whether people like it or not, or respect you or not. Fly through life free, internally soaring as the eagle, having your own principles clearly defined in your own heart, and your clear sense of purpose guiding your way forward to your next connection of nourishment, be it a lake, a quote, the breeze on your face, or the laughter of a child. You know what you want. You want love. And you know where you're headed into love's fulfillment. Love is far greater a power than the ordinary mind understands. We need to retrain our brains. When I say love, I'm not only speaking of sentimentality, but I'm speaking of the tremendous creative force that binds life together. Infuse your life. Have you ever felt a change of atmosphere during some exhilarating moment? The very air within and around our bodies has a different feel to it. Interestingly enough, the origin of the word spirit is air and breath. We hear reports of yogis and all sorts of masters experiencing inner winds, waters, oils, fires. Have you ever felt an inner healing feeling that has the sense of warmth and magnetism to it? Let's take a moment to initiate the manifestations of Spirit's presence right now as you read this article. Willingness is the only necessity. Remember a time when you felt loved, accepted, secure, and nourished. Any positive emotion. Can you feel it? If not, why not? This is not to the exclusion of the expression of negative emotion. The healthy expression of negative emotion in the proper sense is part of this game as well. But first, let's bring grace here with just a few minutes of contentment. Suspended animation, feeling peace of mind rather than thinking thoughts. Sigh relief loudly and deeply release pent-up stress. In your biology, you will find your biography. Untie the knots. Travel into your pain, unprocessed, hidden. Find it and release it again and again, appropriately. Take time for the releasing of your very self. It's worth the investment of time and energy. It makes your going and doing much more effective. Worry about nothing. Return to the place where things are after the fact. Be as spacious as space itself. Is there a change of atmosphere that you can feel within your body? Even in the least degree, can you feel the Spirit? There seems to be confusion in some circles as to whether we should feel or not. Of course we should feel. Do you think the intellect is greater than feeling? Discover love, spirit, pure energy, nature's nourishments, deep relaxation. These feelings combined make magic pie and activate the intellect to its top functioning. Innervation precedes activation, meaning reverse the search first. Make sure you have the foundation of yourself. From that, go about and do. Industrious production naturally results. These are the feelings that reveal where we are in fear, distorted, and or out of balance. There may be some elements that are difficult to face. Once we admit to what's going on and how we should redesign our behavior, we're automatically coordinated in proper alignment, and the support of the universe and nature and others comes to us. We may rather like to hide in fearful clinging, because for some it's just too much to look at themselves. However, one act of courage begins to transform such fear shock. I humbly submit that though we might be apparently flawed, what's beneath is an unshaken core that knows the majesty of life. And if we are to bring this forward just for a moment, transformation occurs quite naturally. No effort, we change because we're inspired to do so. Action happens of its own accord in the same way a child jumps about and dances because they're well rested. The painful elements of our self-awareness becomes enveloped by so much support that we're encouraged and morph naturally into a better version. A few downloads will do just fine. Just take a few minutes here and there to start your way. Quote, "Then said Almitra, 'Speak to us of love.' And he raised his head and looked upon the people, and there fell a stillness upon them. And with a great voice he said, 'When love beckons you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. If in your fear you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it's better for you to cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into a seasonless world where you shall laugh, but not all of your laughter, and weep, but not all of your tears. Love gives naught but itself, and takes naught but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed. Gibran. Synthesis consciousness. In the state of samadhi, all one's different kinds of energies come under one's control. It is not blankness nor darkness of the mind. When form is ignored and meaning alone is felt, that is samadhi. When the person engaged in meditation forgets both himself and the fact that he is engaged in meditation, then it becomes samadhi. Samadhi means the fixing of the mind, free from all impulses and agitations, on the Lord, or one owns reality. It indicates the state in which is one's own real nature. Samadhi is when one is free from all duality. The mind will be unshaken by dual experiences. It will shine like a flame in a windless room. It is unmoved and unmovable. Sanatana Saranti, August 1989. Samadhi is the pinnacle of spiritual accomplishment in spiritual practices. This is not a skill that's restricted to sages and saints. We all experience this all-empowering state of mind quite regularly, each night when we go to sleep. We do return to the place where there's no problems, nor could there ever be any. What's the difference between this moment and the moment of blissful nourishment found in deep sleep every night? It's still there, we're just not connecting with it. Great communication. Great communication leads to meditation, and meditation to samadhi. Prayer, a method of communicating with someone else for advice and intercession. Talking to a mentor, talking to nature, the stars, a god. Anything, but the little intellect is quite limited if it doesn't reach out in mentorship. The idea that there's no one on the earth intelligent or wise or moral or good enough, trustworthy enough to teach us is a falsity that we've all been programmed into. Mentorship and apprenticeship is natural to the master's course in life. We can't figure it out without asking for guidance. That's like trying to build the space shuttle from square one and going into a forest. What kind of communicating we do is up to our individual preferences. Meditation given us by sages always finds its way to the samadhi experience, where we can contact higher ways of communication with life and learning. Samadhi means being in and from that disappeared place caused by rapturous disappearance. We're built up in the streams of nourishment like silence and pure energy and current and light and healthy sound and love and joy and bliss, contentment, etc. This is where enlightenment for the human being, the pinnacle of our experience, is granted. Whatever spiritual tools we apply, it's in this synthesis consciousness that we're freed. We should know that when our technique is done properly, profound peace of mind, emotional transformation, and deep relaxation all happens. Practice having a great moment now and then and send a ripple effect through your life. Practice longer, full-spectrum, intentionally prepared training where you do a little physical, a little psychological, a little spiritual, a little nature, a little energy, and let all these be the intentional preparation to have some great moments. These great moments will change genetics, will change the brain. I leave our time together with warmth in my heart and a glint in my eye.